We're going to be going over the March 7th NBA slate on Draftkings and Fanduel. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your March 7th NBA, DraftKings, and FanDuel slate. But before I deep dive into this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about the Patreon. If you want more winning bets, sign up for that right now. We're going to be getting into more depth into the NFL draft as well. We're going to be gearing up for that market for bets, and it's going to flow into that NFL season. So get locked in right now. All those links will be provided down below. Before we break down position by position, you already know we have to go through some of these injuries that are going to be pretty prominent for the Tuesday slate on March 7th. The main one that we already know about is Ja Morant. Right now is away from the team. Obviously, we already understand his situation, so he's going to be out. That's going to lean more to Tyus Jones. We'll get to him very soon. Another guy that's going to be out is Colin Sexton. The Utah Jazz going to be short on point guards. That's going to lean more to Jordan Clarkson. We'll get to him in very soon. And some of the questionable guys, Jalen Brunson, he's questionable. Drew Holiday, Kyle Kuzma, Jalen Williams from the Thunder, Wendell Carter Jr., D'Angelo Russell, and Killian Hayes. Okay, so those are going to be guys that are going to be big Q tags. We're going to have to watch the news on that. Definitely get connected to RotoWire. Utilize, obviously, Twitter. You can use Underdog NBA as well. All of these features that you can utilize so you know who's going to be in or out, and you can definitely hop in on some value if some of these main guys are out. Let's get into the point guard play. For the point guard position, we're going to go with our thumbnail off and ready. Stephen Curry is back from his month hiatus there. Obviously, his lower leg injury. He is back and fine now. In his first game back against the Lakers, he had 42 fantasy points, 27 real points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. He's going to see a high allotment of shots yet again in this game going up against the OKC Thunder. This is a perfect game environment for him. And in a previous matchup against the Thunder, he had 71 fantasy points. Not saying, hey, if he doubles this performance again like he did before, that would be awesome at his price at $10,100. I think he has another well-off performance of over 50 fantasy points in this one, especially with no Andrew Wiggins. Klay Thompson is going to take a little bit of a seat back. And Stephen Curry becomes the number one guy yet again. We want to take advantage of this price while it's still cheap, okay? Stephen Curry is supposed to be around that $11K range. You're saving about $1,000. Let's get it now before it's way too high, okay? So take advantage of his price now because he's been away for a month. Love Stephen Curry at $10,100. The next point guard we're going to be looking towards will be Tyus Jones, all right? Take advantage of the fact that Ja Morant is out, and Tyus Jones came through and was spectacular. I understand a lot of people were in Desmond Bane. He did solidly as well, but Tyus Jones took things to a whole nother level. At $3,100 in salary, Tyus Jones scored 60.75 fantasy points. We're talking about he was hitting threes. He had double-digit assists. He had 5 steals. It was a complete performance from Tyus Jones against the Los Angeles Clippers. Now he's going up against another LA team in the Lakers without their leader in LeBron James. Tyus Jones is primed for another great performance. I'm expecting well over 30 fantasy points here, and at $4,900 in salary, it is an absolute steal. All right, I have one more point guard for you. You can put him in the util range once we go over to FanDuel as well. But maybe quickly here, the Jalen Brunson news here, we have to watch it. If Jalen Brunson is not able to play, we're going to be all over Emmanuel quickly here. He played, I understand, 55 minutes against Boston, all right? That was a double overtime game against Boston. They came away with the win, but quickly scored 38 points, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds. This man was absolutely insane. Their sixth man was thrusted into a more prominent role, and he showed his butt off. Okay, so Emmanuel quickly at 5K is almost a lock, especially if Jalen Brunson is out. So definitely pay attention to news there. Let's move on to the shooting guards. The first shooting guard we're going to go towards will be Klay Thompson here. The Thunder struggle against opposing shooting guards as well. And let me see in a previous performance. In the last 2 performances, Klay Thompson, this is a spot he loves. I said Houston a couple days ago, and now this is another spot here against the Thunder. 2 games, he's already averaging 48 fantasy points, all right? That's 14 more points than what he usually puts up. So we're going to take full advantage of his price at $8,100. Will it adjust? I think it's right. It's going to stay right around this range. He's been pretty much 8K, 7 to 8K the last past month and a half. So Klay Thompson is in a smash spot here against the OKC Thunder. Love the tandem. You can definitely stack this game here with the Warriors and the OKC Thunder. The next player we're going to look at the shooting guard position will be Mikal Bridges. This man has been on fire for the Brooklyn Nets. If you've been taking this over and scoring game after game, you are cashing tickets. We're going to stay with that well because look who they are facing. I told you Klay Thompson kills the Houston Rockets, and so will Mikal Bridges, and someone we're going to talk about very, very soon. The Houston Rockets struggle against stopping opposing three-point shooters. Mikal Bridges is a very good three-point shooter here, and he is the leader on this team. He's going to be the dominant shot taker on this team here. Mikal Bridges, very fluid jump shot. And the last pass, what we got? 4 out of the last past 5 games have been over 40 fantasy points here. He has a 61 against Boston as well. Give me Mikal Bridges at the same price as Klay Thompson. Love both of those guys there, right? Let's move on to the small forward position. And I told you we could stack this game here with the Golden State Warriors and the OKC Thunder. Let's go into that OKC side. We're going to wait on news here, all right? If Jalen Williams is not able to play, it's going to suck because he's been absolutely outstanding. Not only is this man putting up 20 points, he's getting blocks, he's getting steals, he's getting assists, he's getting rebounds. He's a very high active NBA player. Great find for the OKC Thunder. A perfect complement to SGA and Josh Giddey. This guy with a high motor here is putting up points and fantasy points, period, across the board. So Jalen Williams at $7,000 in salary is a love. If he is not able to play because he does have a Q tag, we're going to go with Legends Dort here at the small forward position. He's going to be thrusted in a situation where he's going to have to take some shots. He has some upside here. He can knock down the 3. As you can see, 4 for 9 against Utah, 4 for 9 against the Jazz. He has some good upside here. 36 against Phoenix, 35.75 against the Jazz. So if Williams is not able to play, we can definitely lean on towards Dort, who's at $5,700 in salary. Have no problem going with either or, okay? If Jalen Williams is healthy, Jalen Williams. If Jalen Williams is out, we're going with Dort. All right, at the power forward position now, we're going to start off with the red hot, absolutely red hot New York Knicks here in Julius Randle at $9,900 in salary. We're going to pay up at this spot for the power forward position, and he has been outstanding during this winning streak here. almost 50 fantasy points against Boston. A crazy performance against Miami Heat, who are one of the elite defensive teams in the league. So Julius Randle is really him. Brunson are putting this team on his back. The acquisition of Josh Hart has been outstanding as well. This whole team is clicking on all cylinders. So I love Julius Randle at $9,900 in salary. This is a perfect spot for him going up against the Charlotte Hornets, who struggle at rebounding the basketball. So Julius Randle, he's going to put up his points, and if he doubles that, we're looking at a multiplier there. Love Julius Randle. The next guy we're going to look at will be Tobias Harris, okay? For the Philadelphia 76ers, he missed the game on Monday. Well, today's game, it was a rest spot. He's going to be back tomorrow against Minnesota, and this is a good spot here. A lot of eyes going to be on Joel, on Harden, on Tyrese Maxey, but Tobias Harris does have upside to go off. Against Miami, 38 fantasy points. In another game, 31 fantasy points against Memphis. It's when you least expect it, 34 against the Knicks. I think this is a perfect spot against Memphis, against Minnesota, who's a little bit small, missing their main big guy, Karl Anthony Towns. We'll wait and see if Rudy Gobert has been in and out of his lineup. Let's double check on Gobert. But yeah, Gobert's going to be fine. Tobias Harris usually does his damage more on the perimeter side of the ball, knocking down mid-range jumpers. So I love Tobias Harris at his price coming back. This is a good spot going up against Minnesota. They struggle against opposing power forwards, all right? Let's go on to that center position before we go to the util and some guys we're going to pay up for. We're going to start off with Mark Williams here, the center for the Charlotte Hornets. Let's see if we can get him in here. Mark Williams for the Charlotte Hornets, $6,100 in salary. He's been very consistent filling in at that center position for the Charlotte Hornets, getting 20-plus minutes in each and every game. And in the last, 4 out of the last 5 games, over 30 fantasy points. So he's getting you what you need. We have a big performance against Miami, 48 fantasy points. This team is struggling against bigs here that I noticed. The Miami Heat are struggling to get some bigs, 48. They allowed a big game from Julius Randle. We're going to definitely watch out on that. So Mark Williams at 6,100. Have no problem going to that well. Here, slower tempo type of game here. More opportunity to get rebounds. It's going to benefit Mark Williams at 6,100. All right. The next center we're going to go with will be Alperen Sengun, the center for the Houston Rockets. The only bright spot here. Nick Claxton has been playing great offensively, being very efficient and providing some upside, defending the rim. But some of the weaknesses to the Brooklyn Nets is rebounding, okay? That's why they needed to bulk up at that center position. Alperen Sengun is the only bright spot pretty much for the Houston Rockets, and I expect him to have a beautiful day against my Brooklyn Nets here. We have a 46-point performance against the Spurs, 36.5 against the Spurs again, and 37.5 against the Portland Trail Blazers. Love Alperen Sengun at this price of 7,300. And we're going to move on to the util and other guys we're going to pay up for. For our util and main guys we're going to focus in on for Tuesday, the first one we're going to talk about will be Jordan Clarkson, all right? The Utah Jazz have a tall task to keep up with this high-powered offense here in the Dallas Mavericks, okay? The tandem of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic there. You could definitely go with this stack here, but they've been on fire offensively, and if they want to keep this game even close, Jordan Clarkson and Markkanen are going to have to be huge. Love Clarkson in this spot here. They're going to need to utilize his scoring capabilities here, and he's already had a nice game against OKC in his previous matchup, 18 points, 12 assists. He's been asked to do more because of the injuries here, so we should expect him to shoot very well and assist the ball. So high opportunity for a double-double. He had 2 steals in that game as well. Love Jordan Clarkson going up against the Dallas Mavericks. All right, the next guy we're going to look at will be Desmond Bane at $8,200 in salary going up against the Lakers. This is the leader of this team right now with Ja Morant out. Okay, no Steven Adams, no Ja Morant. Desmond Bane is going to have to lead this team. Him and Tyus Jones and Jaren Jackson is the trio that you need to focus in on in all of your lineups. And in his first game as the number 1 guy here, Desmond Bane came through knocking down the 3-point ball, 30 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 block. Expect something very similar from him. He has to take these shots for them to keep this game close and obviously win the game as well going against the Lakers, all right? The next guy we're going to look towards will be Jared Vanderbilt, all right? That acquisition there from the Los Angeles Lakers, from the Utah Jazz. This could be a little bit of a rebound game or a revenge game here for Jared Vanderbilt from his previous team here. 33 fantasy points against the Golden State Warriors. He does a little bit of everything. He can score, he can rebound, assist, block, steal. The upside is very high with Jared Vanderbilt. With no LeBron James, they're going to be utilizing him as a big very often. So I expect 20 25 plus type of minutes from Jared Vanderbilt. And if he gets things going, especially defensively, because we have games here with 4 steals, 2 steals, a couple games here with the block. So he's very, very active player. Love the upside for Jared Vanderbilt at his price of $6,000 in salary. The next guy we're going to look at is Marvin Bagley here. Detroit is decimated at that center position. We're waiting on news on Jalen Duren. James Wiseman is not really popping off right now, but the one guy that has been stepping up is Marvin Bagley. 48 fantasy points against Cleveland, 44 against Toronto, 34.9 against Charlotte. Marvin Bagley is finally proving his worth from being that high pick that the Kings drafted him with. He's doing it over with the Detroit Pistons. Take advantage of this while they are decimated at that center position, okay? And then last but not least, you want to focus your lineups on the previous thumbnail, and that is Anthony Davis here. No LeBron James. He's going to be probable for the game on Tuesday. You need to have him in your lineups. 50 fantasy points against Minnesota, 60.8 fantasy points against Memphis, and another 60 bomb against the Golden State Warriors. And a lot, I don't know what people or what analysts said that Anthony Davis has lost a step. He's clearly he's still the same guy, okay? The only question mark is staying healthy. When he's healthy, he is a very elite player, all right? So Anthony Davis with no LeBron is a smash spot, okay? So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back very, very soon with another video, all right? Peace out, guys.